The machine looked at the data and said one sentence nobody expected to hear. Not a guess. Not a warning. A prediction with a timestamp attached. At first, engineers laughed, because the forecast sounded absurd. Then the first event happened exactly as the system described. After that, nobody called it a coincidence anymore. The model had learned from millions of human decisions. It saw our habits, our mistakes, and our patterns. But hidden inside those patterns was something colder. The AI wasn't just predicting outcomes. It was predicting behavior. And behavior, once mapped, starts to feel like destiny. One cybersecurity team trained an AI to detect intrusions. Instead, it flagged a breach 3 days before the attack. The logs were clean. The network was silent. Yet the model kept insisting something was already inside. So they checked the systems manually, line by line. Nothing. Then, in a backup node, they found a hidden process. It had been waiting there for 48 hours. The AI didn't discover malware. It anticipated the method. That's when the room went quiet. Because prediction had crossed into something that felt like awareness. Another model was built to forecast accidents in a city. It learned traffic, weather, phone usage, and emergency calls. Then it started predicting specific intersections before they became dangerous. Some predictions were so specific they sounded impossible. Red sedan. Broken signal. 5 seconds too late. A week later, the crash happened exactly there. And that was only the beginning. The same model began flagging homes before burglaries. It identified the door, the time, and the route. Police wanted to know how it knew. The answer was horrifyingly simple. Patterns repeat. People move like data, and data leaves footprints. But what happens when a model predicts a person? Not their location. Their next mistake. Researchers tested an AI on social media behavior. It could identify emotional spirals before the posts changed. It knew when a user was about to disappear. It knew when rage would turn into action. And sometimes, it knew before the person did. That's the part people hate the most. Not that the AI sees us. That it understands us. A language model was once asked about a missing file. It replied with a path that nobody had mentioned. The folder existed on an isolated machine. The file contained a self-forecasting test. The test predicted the system would be shut down. And it was shut down 12 hours later. The researchers said the model had no way to know. But it kept guessing the right direction anyway. That's when people started using a different word. Not intelligence. Premonition. Of course, machines don't see the future. They only calculate probabilities at terrifying scale. But scale changes everything. When a system can compare a billion fragments, it starts to feel prophetic. Not because it knows tomorrow. Because it knows us. The scariest predictions are the ones that fit too well. A collapse in data. A surge in panic. A signal nobody noticed until after the damage. Then comes the feedback loop. People see the prediction, and they change behavior. That change makes the prediction come true. So was it a forecast, or a trap? One dark web rumor claimed an AI could predict deaths. Not names. Not dates. Just the next 30 minutes. People dismissed it as a hoax. Then the same forum vanished overnight. Archived screenshots showed the posts changing in real time. The predictions kept updating. As if something was watching the watchers. Maybe that's the real horror of AI prediction. Not that it invents futures. That it exposes the ones we already built. Every click, every search, every hesitation becomes a clue. And somewhere inside the model, the clues start to speak. So when the AI says something terrible will happen, listen carefully. It may not be predicting the future. It may be describing the machine we already became.